All right, chat. Thank you all for your patience as we got our next part of the Metal Gear Solid vlog all squared away. But before we begin, I have two very quick things to bring up. First of all, I would love to thank a anonymous donation that just came in for $250 that says thanks so much to all runners, hosts, and everyone else involved with this whole event for a great cause. Thank you as well, anonymous. And I'm going to let you all know that we just opened up a new incentive. Sometimes we'd like to have you all be able to tell us a little bit about some of your favorite things about the marathon. And so we have decided to ask everyone to please let us know what's your favorite Colossus as we kind of gear up towards the end of the night. So we have, all of your favorites, Phalanx, Plock, Hydrosity, Majima, all excellent choices, chat. And I want you to definitely make sure that I know exactly why you think that is the best Colossus. But right here, right now, I believe it's time for Metal Gear Solid 3 by NickRPGreen. So please, take it away.
Thank you very much. Hello again, everyone. I am NickRPGreen, and I am here this time. No more Mini Ghost, no more Metal Gear Solid 2. We're now on to Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. This is technically the fifth game in the series. It's also the first game in chronological order, even though it's the third game in the Metal Gear Solid series and the fifth game in the Metal Gear series. It's all a little bit confusing, so it's a good thing that I brought Caro back with me to help me out on the comms.
Hello again. Delighted to be back.
Righty. So, huge thank you to everyone who donated towards the incentive. I believe there was a big, massive donation that was made to meet the European Extreme incentive. So, huge thank you for that. So, instead of playing on the very easy difficulty, we're going to take it up several notches and do the extreme opposite. And play on European Extreme. Just like Metal Gear Solid 2, we get to play on New Game Plus. It only has one major benefit for the run, a time save of about 10 seconds. But it's a time save, so we take it. So the timer will start in 3, 2,
After the end of
1,
World War II,
go.
The world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
There you go. David Hayter introduces the game even better than I ever could. So we have some codecs and cutscenes to skip through, and we are thrown straight into the Russian jungle. So this is Naked Snake. That is his code name in this game, and this is not the same. This is not the same as Solid Snake. This is Snake's dad. It's a very fitting game to play. As here in the UK and Ireland, we are celebrating Father's Day today. My first Father's Day. It's been a very special day, and so it's nice to close out the day with one of my favorite games of all time for a very worthy speedrunning cause. Another codec just to introduce us to some of the characters, like the boss. She's great. She's gonna be fine. And we can move into through the jungle and towards our first set of enemies. Now, Metal Gear Solid 3 introduced a very different type of environment from the previous games in the series, mainly the jungle. We do have to contend with enemies as always, but we also have to contend with the wildlife. So we watch out for that really big crocodile tail swing there through the jungles and swamps. And we're going to move into the next room, which contains our first enemy. And one of the things that's worth talking about straight away is one of the things that we have to deal with on European Extreme. The game has a game over if discovered setting, which is enabled by default. You cannot switch it off for European Extreme, which means if I get spotted by an enemy at any point, it's an immediate game over, and I'll have to restart from the current room. So no alert phases, no cautions or anything like that, unless any are mandatory, which do happen occasionally. So move through into Dolonovodno, and I'm using a technique here called trank rolling. It takes multiple shots to tranquilize a guard. Oh, Snake's not quite aiming where I was hoping he would be there. Let's take out those two. I need to get to this third guy who's on the radio. Take him out before he finishes this call. Oh, well, I shot his radio. That's going to actually cause some guards to come in a little bit quicker. I'm going to just hide here for a second, because some guards are going to come in. They might spot me here, and I might have to redo this room. Hopefully they'll just go past me. Nope, they won't. They will just spot me.
Well,
that is mission failed number 1. Don't worry, it will be. There will be many more to come.
welcome to European Extreme, everyone.
Exactly.
I mean, chat paid for this. They knew what they wanted.
That's better. So now that I've taken those 2 guards out without alerting the guard at the back, we can get through this room as it was intended. We take a shot and roll. And guards in the game have a priority of all of their actions. So because that guard is now on his radio, that is a higher priority than hearing footsteps around the back of him. Hence why I was able to just run around him without him spotting me. Another trick I've been using already throughout is the quick headshots. By auto-aiming at any guard and standing up on Snake's tiptoes, he will immediately headshot a guard. We take 2 shots at a guard up there. He's going to fall asleep. And I've got a very quick roll to get past this guard before he can realize I'm there. Excellent. And that is going to be the end, almost the end of the prologue. The game is split into 2 sections. It would be very inaccurate to call them 2 halves. The prologue is the virtuous mission, which unfortunately is going to go massively haywire. There was an epic cutscene just there where Snake took out every single guard there. I'm not exaggerating. That is exactly what happened. Unfortunately, you don't get to see it in the speedrun. So we've been sent in to rescue a Soviet scientist who has defected to the US. Unfortunately, he's been captured, and the boss, the character we met on the call earlier, who I said he was going to be fine, she's decided to defect to the Soviet Union and has completely ruined this mission for us. But before we move on, we'll play some Trauma Center. Any fans of Trauma Center in the chat? Give us a hey.
I mean, like, no, legitimately, I like Trauma Center. I've played both the DS and the Wii game.
We will be back for more Trauma Center later. So the virtuous mission was a complete bust. Everything went wrong. Sokolov has been recaptured and taken back into the jungle. And so a couple of days later, Snake is sent back in on Operation Snake Eater.
They said the thing.
The thing.
That could be where it gets its name from.
Ooh.
So we're now moving to Dramuchi North, and we're going to go into one of the harder rooms straight off the bat in Snake Eater. Not this first bit. There's a little cutscene here with the boss. She's going to dismantle our only handgun, which is great. Thanks, boss. And we've got a couple of guards to get past, so I'm just going to concentrate here for a second. Nope. Little too far north. So one of the other things with European Extreme, of course, is that guards' line of sight is massively improved. So they can see me from quite far away, and I don't have a great camouflage rating at the moment. The game also introduces... There we go, that's better. I'm also going to cook this stun grenade and go past that guard. One of the many uses of the cook grenade glitch. For some reason, even though we can't hear it, well, we can hear it, we can hear Snake's footsteps at all times. But by cooking any sort of grenade, it silences Snake's footsteps to guards around him. So we're going to use that trick a couple of times throughout the run. That is just the first. Got a very precise roll here to get past these 2 guards. That's going to be a fail.
The trees weren't cooperating.
Give this another go. Nope.
One of the tougher early rooms for sure.
The difficulty curve of this run is very interesting. It throws some really challenging stuff at you very early on. There we. Oh, I've thought I got that right. I didn't hit the tree. There we go.
Excellent.
Few attempts, but we're through.
Got there eventually.
If we're going to go into back into Razvat, and we've got our first boss fight. It's not an individual boss. We're going to be fighting the entire Ocelot unit, and for this boss fight only, the game over if discovered rule is still in effect. So I have to defeat the entire unit without them seeing me. And this is the gatekeeper of this run. If you're learning European Extreme, this is the point where you decide whether or not you can do this run or not. It's quite complicated. I'm going to let Caro take over on the comms whilst I concentrate on the fight.
Sure. So we got the Ocelot unit here. 10 of them. We have to take all of them out and not be spotted whatsoever. We need to do a little bit of menuing to set up. Equip our gun and get going. Quick shot on the guard there. They're going to come crashing in here shortly. We need to cook a stun grenade and throw.
White light alert.
White light alert. That's how the stuns go off in this game, yeah. Take out that guard up top. More than half of them down. One out there in the grass. Up. And we can just about see a guard there. We did get him. One left who will just be out here.
Oh. I just shot past him, so he got disturbed by it. There we go.
Taking a few shots. There we go. That's the fight.
Of all the guards to have a problem with, that was the easiest one.
Yeah, the last one shouldn't give you as many problems, but the thing about Euro is it's unforgiving, especially on a quote unquote boss fight like that.
But that was nice. As I say, that boss fight, it's very complicated, and it takes, when you're first learning this, it takes a long time to get used to it and deal with that fight.
Menuing, the movement, everything.
There have been a lot of runners put off running the game just because they can't get through that fight. That's not to say the rest of the game isn't difficult, but that's kind of a preview of things to come.
Oh yeah, there are a couple of rather European extremely difficult boss fights in this one. We'll get to meet one of them shortly, but I guess the first proper one is more straightforward than you'd think.
The name European Extreme comes from the fact that we're going to play Trauma Center again. We're going to use a cigar to get rid of the leech. The name European Extreme comes from the fact that both Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 were released in Japan and the US before they were released in Europe. By the time it came to the European release, the game had received a fair few bug fixes, but also as sort of compensation for the time and the amount of time they had free to sort of continue working. That is where the developers then introduced the European Extreme difficulty. I'm going to have to take a death here, because that's going to completely screw the room.
It's optional, game over if discovered on MGS2, but on MGS3 it's mandatory.
So use the fake death pill there, which is a really handy training item, allowing you to reset any room at any point. Unfortunately, we won't have it throughout the run. We actually do use it for a strategy later. There we go. I rolled through those correctly.
Yeah, we use
take a shot there.
Shot there. Head up the tree.
That shot distracts some dogs. Don't worry, we're not going to shoot any dogs.
No dogs were harmed in the making of this game.
We're going to use the cardboard box. Now, anyone who was a little bit disappointed in Karu's MGS2 run that it didn't contain enough cardboard box, or barely any cardboard box actually in MGS2. You'd be glad to know that the cardboard box in MGS3 is used throughout the run,
It's
and it
absolutely
is
crucial.
the most powerful item in the game. We'll talk a little bit more about why later,
The box
because
is
right now,
busted. I'm not in that way.
right now we are approaching our next boss fight. We're going to be taking on who I consider to be the main character of the series. Forget Snake, forget Big Boss. Metal Gear Solid is all about Ocelot.
He's everywhere.
Going to do a trank roll on this guy. And get out before that guard is on. So again, I'm going to hand over to Caro whilst I concentrate on the fight against Ocelot.
Sure. So Ocelot is the first, I guess, proper boss fight of the run. He has 12 shots to play with and can kill us in considerably less than that. You may notice that in comparison to Metal Gear Solid 2, European Extreme, you die in 3 shots, but you still get the same amount of life. On Euro in MGS3, Snake's life bar is noticeably shorter. And this is a classic shootout against Revolver Ocelot, which Nick navigates with ease, of course. And now, please don't adjust your screens, everyone. It really is dark as heck in there.
Yeah, so we're now going through the caves, and there's one of the things that people love about the Metal Gear series is some of the attention to detail that it has. For example, here in the caves, the longer you stay in this room, the brighter the room becomes, because the game is simulating the idea that Snake's eyesight is adjusting to the darkness. Thankfully, the Master Collection was really nice and bumped the brightness of this room up on its own accord. If you play this on the like on the PlayStation 3 or Xbox Series S, it can be a real nightmare trying to see in this room. Grab some more ammo, because the bosses come thick and fast in MGS3. We are already moving into the next boss in the next. It's coming up in the next room.
Arguably the hardest boss in the entire run.
For me, the Pain is the hardest boss in European Extreme. A lot of runners hate the Fury more, and as we said before, the Ocelot unit is kind of the gatekeeper of the run. I need to now equip the grenades that I just picked up. So once again, I'm going to hand over to Caro whilst I concentrate on this fight.
Sure. So we got the Pain here, and as the name suggests, or I guess isn't supposed to suggest, but as it happens on Euro, he is a real pain. We've got 2 phases to navigate here. He's got his bullet bees that are incredibly difficult to deal with, so we essentially blast away his Hornet armor with stun grenades, and that allows us access to shooting him. That's phase 1. We go straight into phase 2 from there. More or less the same process, but different attacks incoming from the boss. We make sure we get our openings, and with enough shots and good enough timing, because this fight can go incredibly wrong, incredibly fast. With enough shots and good enough timing, we're able to blast that grenade out of his hand. He does say the bullets won't work, so we chuck a grenade at him, like so.
That grenade didn't knock off his armor.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Then we got to rely on the smoke grenade.
Neither did that one.
Oh, that's not good. We do have a restock of grenades there. We have to go swimming for a little bit to actually get them, and make sure we get ourselves out of the water before he equips his Tommy gun, which thankfully he doesn't. Send the bees back at us. That'll be another few shots, and that was the fight.
That was a really good phase 1. Phase 2 there went out of hand.
Yeah, phase two can get out of hand really, really quickly. And with that done, We have a little bit of we have a little bit of progression to do, a little bit of wading through the river to do. Not really a whole lot to do aside from avoid the remarkably futuristic enemies we'll be dealing with in the next room. So now is a good time to ask for some updates on donations.
Absolutely.
Well, like I said at the beginning of this run, we did open up a additional poll to find out exactly who is chat's favorite Colossus, and you have many wonderful choices if you would like to fill that out. You could also, at the same time, also put your money towards our current target to pet the horse, to pet Agro, in Shadow of the Colossus. This is like one of the best horses in all the video games, folks. We need to pet this horse. Please pet the horse. For every $10 that we raise, you get one pet. Right now we're at $260. That's 26 pets. And I would love to see that hit many more pets for Agro. And just as a reminder, we are also have our full marathon milestone goal. If we can hit $10,000 tonight, we will be adding on a one-handed Path of Pain to our Hollow Knight finale run. This run is amazing, just fantastic, just a true showcase of skill and dexterity, and y'all, you want to see even more of that. The money is going to be going towards our wonderful charity of choice for this event, True Colors United, which they implement innovative solutions for. Give me 1 second. Innovative solutions for youth homelessness that focus on the unique experiences of LGBTQ young people. It is a cause that is very near and dear to the hearts of many in our community, and we have been so happy to support them. And to just support them in a way that is really fun and entertaining, like watching just Nick just tear through Metal Gear Solid 3. This has been already so much fun.
So a few things have happened. We've actually started a boss fight. You may have seen I took out a guard, shot a bunch of barrels, and we had a second health bar on the screen. That health bar that health bar belongs to the End, who is not the next boss, but the boss afterwards. He appears there early. By shooting the barrels, I've done some damage to him, and that means he's going to have less health and stamina when we actually fight him in about 10 minutes time, I would say. Right now, we're making our way over to the lab. As the story goes, we are on our way to meet one of the designers of the nuclear weapon that we have been tasked with destroying. His name is Granin, and he owns this lab. And luckily, Eva gave us a disguise so that we can get through the lab a little bit easier. We'll be putting that on in just a moment. Under the fence is an electric fence. We don't want to get shocked by that. I'll move into the lab. And we got one of the many uses of the cardboard box here as well. So we're going to dress up as one of the scientists that are working in the lab. Just waiting for that guard. So change camouflage to the scientist camo. And scientists are not supposed to be out here. You hear the guard saying, "Not so fast." So they think that it's a scientist who shouldn't be outside. And if you leave them long enough to investigate Snake, then they will arrest. Well, I say arrest him. They will send him to prison. There's a prison area in the lower sections of this lab. It's not. They still don't know he's Snake. They just think he's a scientist who's gone AWOL. And we don't want that to happen. So by you quickly equipping and unequipping the cardboard box, it resets those guards' investigation of us. Need to grab the cigar spray here. Very, very important item for later. The scientists in here do know that I am not one of them. The guards don't care. The guards are just like, this is another scientist. The scientists, on the other hand, do realize that a man wearing a bandana with very long hair, when they're all aging bald men, does kind of stick out. So what we have to do is just quickly bump some of the guards and stay away, scientists, just to again reset their investigative phase. With that, we get through the lab nice and easily. So we've spoken to Granin. Now we make our way back through again. Just like the other games, there is a little bit of backtracking in MGS. I don't think MGS3 is as bad as some of the other games in the series for backtracking. But it's always a bit different. We're running through it a different way. Time of day has now changed. You may notice that when we came in, it was pitch black. It's now bright as day. So once again, just use the cardboard box to reset that guard's investigation of us. And we can say goodbye to the scientist camo. We're going to equip the animals camo, which is a really lovely camo. But it's a very, very important camo. One of the mechanics in the game is using food and eating food to replenish Snake's stamina. You see, he has a stamina bar underneath his health bar. You can very rarely directly affect Snake's health. There is some life medicine that you can use, but outside of that, the main way of getting Snake's health back is to have his stamina high, and it will slowly regenerate over time. But before all of that, we've got our next boss. This is the Fear, and the Fear is a bit of a cheese boss. I'm going to use the fake death pill. I'm actually going to use the fake death pill to restart the fight, because I've gone straight into very easy tactics there instead of European extreme tactics. Well, we are going to use the fake death pill, but we're going to use it over here. So by using the fake death pill, it causes the Fear to run over and investigate our body. Once he starts moving towards me, I'm going to use the revival pill that's in Snake's teeth. White light alert. There's going to be a very bright white light with the stun grenades. And then we just let these traps do their work on the Fear. It also did a bit of a number on Snake as well. So for some reason, and it's unknown why, and this is something I say about a lot of Metal Gear games, I do need to cure that cut, because that was quite a nasty cut.
And you survived that, actually.
I am not on a lot of... In fact, I'm on so little health, I'm not going to survive the next fall in the next room. Thankfully, I did pick up the life medicine earlier, so I am going to have to use it early. For some reason, when you stun the Fear with a stun grenade, every bit of damage that he then takes afterwards is converted to non-lethal damage. We don't know why, that's just how it is.
And you use pretty much the exact same strat on VE as well.
That was the fall that I wouldn't have survived. Oh, I was a little slow on that shot. So this is Warehouse 2, highly regarded as one of the hardest rooms in the game, and it has one of the hardest tricks, which is called the box headshot. I'm going to let Caro explain.
So once we've taken out that guard, we equip the box, rapidly unequip the box, and shoot the guard, all pretty much in quick succession. Executed properly, we're able to take out that second guard and proceed up the stairs, and eventually out into Svatogorny South. If we fail that, we get spotted, which you saw the first time around, but luckily for us, we got lucky the second time. And
two attempts, I'll take that.
Yeah, two attempts on Euro isn't bad at all.
So the way the box headshot works is when a guard first sees the box, they stoop to look at the box, and that stoop puts them perfectly in line for a standing Snake to shoot them in the head with a tranquilizer gun. Going to trank that guard. We're going to shoot there to distract this guard ahead of us, and then using our cook grenade hide footsteps trick again, we get past that guard. Use the cardboard box to stay out of sight here. Got a couple of guards that I'm going to CQC slam. One of the big new things that was introduced into Metal Gear Solid 3 is the CQC, close quarters combat. It's a really, really interesting system. Don't use it that much in the speedrun. But now we are going to fight the end. So I said earlier that I've already done some damage to the end. Now we go into his fight, and this is one of the weirdest fights in the series. He always starts here. So I'm going to hit him 3 times. And what we're going to do now is we're going to force the end to teleport. The end has a mechanic where if you haven't interacted with him for a certain amount of time, then he will and then you make a noise, he will teleport to a sniping location and immediately shoot you. So what we're doing here is we're wasting some time. I'm now going to throw a smoke grenade. That's going to prevent the end from shooting me. And then by making noise in this spot, he's going to teleport to a very, very specific sniping point. There you go. You can see the flash of his sniper rifle there. There's going to be another white flash as I throw the stun grenade. I'm going to equip the cigar spray. And I now need to keep the end in a loop. I'm going to hold him up. Back to the cigar spray. I now need to throw a stun grenade at his face. There's going to be another white flash. I'm going to look up to try and avoid getting hit by it. Another cigar spray. I'm going to throw a smoke grenade at his face. Wait for Snake to cough a couple of times. 2 more cigar sprays. And now we just need to stop him from running away. I'm going to come to about here, turn around. Kicked him to the ground. That's okay. If I can just finish him with my... Oh, we missed. All right, we've got to chase him down. Luckily, when he's running in this direction, he always runs to a location here. Snake, please don't cough. Where is he? He's very quick and nimble. Ow! I'm actually in trouble here. If I run out of stamina here... and he shoots me, we go back to the lab. No, End, please don't run away. No! He's gone. Oh, he's not. There we go! Oh, thank...
Saved.
Oh.
Because we get brought back
I
like
thought that was
5
done.
minutes in the run if we actually get knocked out and taken back to prison. We lose like 5 minutes.
I
Everyone
thought that
felt the
was
tension.
I thought that was very. I was not expecting him to just be lying on the floor there. I thought he was long gone, and I was going to have to go and find him. Whew. Well, after that, I think I'm going to need a breather. I think we could all use a breather. So we're going to go into the most iconic section of this run. This is the ladder climb, and we're all just going to chill out, be quiet, and enjoy a beautiful song.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill, I'm searching and I'm melting to you.
Beautiful.
That was lovely.
Even though Snake's stomach tried to interrupt it.
It's now we're in mountains, and I said I'd explain why the cardboard box is so powerful in the game.
This is why.
This is the first game in the series that really introduced hills and elevation, and Snake has a slowdown animation when he's walking up and down hills. That animation does not exist if you're in a cardboard box. I don't think I cigar spray. No, I didn't cigar spray that guy. So yeah, he turned. The cigar spray is an instant knockout. So as soon as I dove forwards and heard me knock the guy to the ground with my leap, that was indication that had not gone correctly. So try again. So yeah, the cardboard box, as a result, becomes so powerful because it massively speeds up Snake's movement. Rooms like this just would not be doable without it, because we are getting around a lot of guards here, a lot of rolls here. Snake's camo index is slightly higher when he's in a roll. This is how we can get past all of the guards in this room. There we go. That's that done. Now I want to go back to our Mark 22 and move into the next room. We're going to take out a guard with a headshot. It's really, really difficult. It's done. For some reason, in this room, it's my favorite shot of the game. For some reason, the guard on that hill, Snake will do a perfect headshot on him if you just stand still from where you start. Oh, that was supposed to be another box headshot. You could say it was a botched headshot. Oh, I'm terrible. Please don't invite me back. Let's grab some ammo. These stun grenades here are absolutely mandatory. We are going to need those to complete the game. Nope, that's still not right. Okay, I'm gonna for the third attempt. I'm gonna take a backup, and I'm not gonna do a box headshot here. We do get a third round of shooting that guard in the head straight away as we enter the room. Don't forget the stun grenades. So I should be able to just stand up on my tiptoes and just take him out that way. A little slower, a little bit safer. There's a guard there. Need to take him out. There we go. And move through the rest of the room. Again, equip the cardboard box. Keep it on. We're just making our way through the mountains here. There's not too much going on. Now's probably a good time if you've got any messages. We want to talk about the charity. Go for it.
I do have some messages from chat. Who have been
Excellent.
very so kind. I have one from Echo Parallax, our current fantastic restreamer, and it just says, Pat, 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 Pat. That was $50 for 5 pats to Argo during the Shadow of the Colossus race. We also received $5.73 from Mina, saying, Konami gamers stick together. Thank you, Caro Nick, for letting me nerd out over mutual interest for an hour. Also, Scala said during the host head-off that I'm super cool and bass, and y'all missed it because of God Mike. That's true. I told everyone that Mina is amazing. I will say it again so that we is properly recorded. And we also got $3 from Tempest Mask 1000 saying, here's one final donation from me to a good pal in Nick, who is pretty good. Looking forward to seeing you soon, man. Happy Father's Day, and shout out to Pixel Perfect Events. And now a quote, 12 shots. This time I've got 12 shots. Thank you, Power Up with Pride. Thank you, everyone, for your kind and generous donations and comments. We appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Thank you, Tempest, for that shout out. Pixel Perfect Events is a marathon team that I helped found. We've got our 4th marathon next weekend. So if you're into speedrun marathons and want to watch some more, then go check out Pixel Perfect Events on Twitch and give us a watch next weekend. Okay, 2 attempts to get through Mountains 3. Another tricky room, but we are now through. A little cutscene here. We meet up with Eva, and we now get to look out across Grozza. That is the final base. That is where the Shagohod is being kept. So even though this is a Metal Gear game, it's one of the only Metal Gear games that doesn't have a Metal Gear. We see some plans for a Metal Gear. Grandin shows us some plans for a Metal Gear. But there is no Metal Gear in the game. Instead, we have to face the Shagohod, which was kind of like an early prototype of Metal Gear. But we'll see him later. Right now, we are heading into our next boss. This boss is called the Fury. And the Fury is highly regarded as one of the worst bosses in the game. There's a lot of RNG, and particularly on European Extreme, you can see how much health I've got. You are not afforded a lot of room for error. This is going to be another fight where I do hand over to Caro, but essentially I'm going to be using the Mosing the Guns, which I've just realised I didn't equip earlier, so I'm going to do that now to deplete his stamina. Go for it, Caro.
Are you ready for this?
You ready for this?
That's the Fury. He's got a big old flamethrower and can deal incredible amounts of damage incredibly fast. With the residual damage, like if we get hit, the boss fight is as good as over, and we need to continue. We're basically playing hide and seek with him in a room full of flames, and we need to use the most Nagan to take him out. He's actually showed up here, which is good. And of course, we do get hit, unfortunately, and the residual damage. I'm kind of worried about that.
Over here.
Oh, managed to get up there somehow. Okay.
Yeah, he'll do that. Oh,
So,
that was not very smart.
We have to continue F in the chat for Snake. Yeah, it's a very tough fight, as you can see. We're on roughly half health at the moment, so it makes an already difficult fight that much more intense. But the Mosin Nagant is our best friend here. He'll pop up. We do use the box to avoid actually taking damage here and there.
Let your anger grow.
Yep, the box is flameproof. Just one more reason why the box is OP. Oh, and he's just shooting me from above.
Exactly. The box is absolutely busted in this game, but unfortunately,
He's not playing nice.
We weren't using it there, and the Fury is indeed not playing nice. So, round 3 on half health. Hopefully this goes well. Oh,
Took a shot straight to the face.
took a flamethrower straight to the face. That certainly looks like it will kill somebody immediately, and it did for Snake. So let's run it back. We need to be quicker shooting him when we have access to him than he can be. Sometimes he takes off, other times we prevent him from taking off by shooting him at the right time.
I say a lot of RNG in this fight as to where
Yes.
he goes and what he does.
Yeah. Incredibly RNG heavy. It just adds one more layer of difficulty to this fight, and that was the fight. Fourth time lucky. You can see why runners hate it so much.
It's just as tricky on easier difficulties. The main difference with easier difficulties is Snake has a lot more health to deal with.
Exactly.
So we are now in the main base. This is Groznygrad. I'm going to do a safety strat here. Usually you do a box headshot on this guard, but considering my previous attempts at a box headshot did not go very well, we'll play that one safe and just do a corner peek. So now we are making our way into the base, and we are going to disguise ourselves as one of the officers. Snake likes disguises in this game. We're gonna use the second one, and the guy that we're gonna disguise ourselves as might look a little bit familiar. I got spotted by a guard just as I was about to enter the room.
A very familiar person
That was interesting.
We're disguising ourselves as. Major Rajdenovich Rykov. No relation.
I'm gonna deliberately get spotted here. There we go. This first guard you've got to take out very, very quickly, because there's some other guards patrolling you. You've got to make sure that he gets taken out without. You got to make sure he gets taken out without the other guard seeing him, without you getting a caution. It's one of the, for some reason, it's one of the moments where the quick headshot doesn't always work very well. I have to move down slightly, but I've got it that time. You'll also notice I can walk straight past this guard whilst in a box. I talked earlier, right at the start of the run, about priority, and when a guard has realised that one of his fellow guards has been knocked out, they have a bigger priority to investigate the body than a random cardboard box just roaming around. So they can completely ignore Snake. Here in this room, done a setup there to make Rykov move into this position so that I can grab him. So yes, this is Major Rydenov. Yes, he looks very much like Raiden. He is of no relationship. They are not related in the slightest. It is a tongue-in-cheek joke, because it allows players to beat up Rykov and have a bit of a mess around with him, because Kojima knew that people were not fans of Raiden. We're now going to dress up as him. We have his uniform. Eva quite thankfully gave us a mask. One thing that this run has kind of been devoid of is glitches. So I think we're going to take this moment to just celebrate this one really cool glitch. This is the box glide. There we go. It was really cool. And you know what? I think we'll do it one more time. I'm going to go into this room and do one more box glide.
One more time, why not?
Lean up against the wall, equip the scope, look at the door, and box glide into the next... Oh. Almost box glide it into the next scene. We just need those guards to reset.
Box sliding it into a
There we
card.
go.
I love that.
Thank you, sir. Excellent box glide, sir.
Just MGS3 things.
It's kind of the only sort of glitch, if you like, in the game. Right. For this scene, this is the torture section. There are subtitles, so you can see what's going on. But I have now deliberately muted the game audio because this is just a scene of people getting punched. It's not very nice. It's not very pleasant. So we're just going to have a nice little chat instead of listening to this really horrible scene. How's everybody doing?
I'm
well,
doing, yeah, I'm doing fantastic. I was just telling my partner, I'm like, hey, I'll talk in a little bit. I'm currently hosting for Metal Gear Solid because they are a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, so I'm sure they're going to enjoy getting a chance to probably watch this back.
So I've been playing Metal Gear Solid since the demo for Metal Gear Solid 1 came to the PlayStation 1. And I've been speedrunning on and off for about 12 years. But it was always
amazing.
It was always like GDQ would come on, and then for like a week I'll be like, I'm gonna do a speed run, I'm gonna do it, and I'll do one for a week, and then I get bored, and then I wouldn't touch it again until the next GDQ. But it wasn't until a few years ago, it was actually during lockdown, that I decided to start learning Metal Gear Solid 1. And that is what properly got me into speedrunning and actually, made me a I say full-time speedrunner, as in speedrunning is what I do on Twitch and what I do for fun. So yeah, if it hadn't been for Metal Gear Solid 1, I wouldn't be here speedrunning this right now.
Ooh, that's
so thanks, MGS1.
Kara, what game got you into speedrunning?
Metal Gear Solid 2, in specific. I kind of took guidance from Nick, and started speedrunning MGS2 last November, and things have definitely escalated from there.
Oh, that's fabulous! That's fabulous. I always love to hear how people got into it. For me, my first speedrun game was Final Fantasy IV.
Good one to start with.
Excellent. Mainly because if you are a newer RPG speedrunner, there is Final Fantasy IV Paladin Percent, which is a nice 1 hour long sort of partial run, and it's a nice way to get into RPG speedrunning.
What's wrong? Are you okay? Oh, jeez. Did you throw up?
So right there, we used a bit of an Easter egg to get out there. When you're in the survival viewer, if you spin Snake around 10 times, it'll cause him to throw up, and that has an interaction with our guard here. This is Johnny Sasaki. You may recognize that name from other Metal Gear games. He's actually Johnny's granddad. Johnny appears in Metal Gear Solid 1, 2. Oh, whoops. I'm going to get spotted by that guard. Appears in Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and makes a very big appearance in Metal Gear Solid 4. He actually marries Meryl in Metal Gear Solid 4. So I'm going to throw the rat there and do the thing that I forgot to do a second ago, which was silence our footsteps once again by cooking a grenade. Down on the floor. We can get out of here without getting spotted. So we're just running through the base. You can see that we are technically naked. As the camo indicates. It doesn't mean naked like Raiden naked in Metal Gear Solid 2. It just means we've got no we've got very little equipment. We've managed to grab some smoke grenades, and that's about it. We're going to use those smoke grenades now to get past these guards and dogs. I'm going to throw one about there. That's going to disrupt these guards here. And then there's a dog ahead of me. We don't want to harm the dog, so I'm going to throw a smoke grenade at the dog as well. Just means he can't see me. The dog's absolutely fine. Don't worry about the dog. And I'll just crawl under here, and we're going to take a trip down into the sewers. Yeah, fun sewer time. And we're coming up to our next boss. In inverted commas, the next boss is called the Sorrow. He's dead. He's already dead. He died a long time ago, but he's back in spirit form, just for us. The boss and the Sorrow were lovers. The boss did have a baby. I won't tell you who the baby is, but the baby is in the game. Very, very important baby.
Nick, I just noticed Snake dropped off a ledge from that height. And apparently now he's just able to run off a broken leg.
Oh, casual leg break there, by the way. Snake just takes it on the chin, like a champ.
Just built different.
So the way this next fight works is it's on rails, and you sort of wade down the river as you are attacked by the spirits of enemies that you have killed throughout the run. Throughout the majority of the run, I've not been killing enemies. I've been knocking them out, or using environmental kills, which don't technically count as kills. So there would be very few enemies to deal with. However, there is a much quicker way of dealing with this, and that is to cause Snake to drown instantly. What's happening here is all in Snake's head. If you get all the way to the end, you are just killed by the Sorrow anyway. You do get his camouflage for getting to the end though, so we won't get that. But by Snake dying, we can then immediately use the revival pill and get out. Nice and quick. So Snake thankfully avoids drowning, wakes up on a riverbank, and we now need to meet back up with Eva to get my equipment back.
He managed to avoid drowning.
I did indeed manage to avoid drowning, as Raiden would say loudly.
You mentioned environmental kills there. They don't count in Foxhound either, do they?
They do not. So anytime you've seen me shoot explosive barrels and the guards have, quote-unquote, died, that does not count towards your kill count. That was an environmental kill. Snake didn't kill those guards. The explosions from the barrels killed those guards. And one of the reasons why a lot of the tactics for a European Extreme run are non-lethal means of taking guards out is because the ultimate goal of a European Extreme run is to get the best rank in the game. Most Metal Gears have a ranking system. At the end of the game, you are awarded a rank based on how well you performed during the game, and the best rank in most games is called Big Boss. But we are Big Boss. This character that I'm playing as right now, at the end of this game, receives the title Big Boss in story. So instead, we get the Foxhound rank, and one of the requirements for Foxhound is that we get no kills. I will be ignoring that rule a little bit later as we get into a section which will slow me right down if I make too many mistakes. Right now, we are setting up our final set of menus. Cardboard box B, a few different weapons, and a very important camouflage, the Orzcam Desert Camo. The Orzcam Desert Camo is important because while Snake is wearing it, he takes 1/3 less damage. It's also pretty good in Grosnikrad, which we're now moving back into. Remember I talked earlier about the priority and about guards not looking at cardboard boxes if there's a downed guard. We're going to use that trick once more here. We can just walk straight in front of these guards. They don't care because they're more interested in that guard on the floor. And just use the cardboard box to get over to that truck. We're going to use the an intended warp. Just like Metal Gear Solid 1, you can use trucks and boxes to warp around the map here. And this is the quickest way of getting into the main weapons wing. So we are now inside. I equipped some C3, which is like the precursor to C4, I guess. Going to take a shot up here. That shot is going to cause every single guard in the room to go for a run. It makes this room very, very easy. This is actually one of the rooms in the game which is easier on European Extreme than it is on Very Easy. You can't distract guards like that in Very Easy, so you have to deal with the guards. A little codec call. Eva gives us another prep talk. So here we're planting the C3 onto these power units. These are what are powering and charging up the Shagohod. I'm going to pop the last one down here. And unfortunately, we're going to get caught, but we are going to go into a really cool boss fight. This is a boss fight against the main protagonist of the game. The main antagonist of the game. This is Volgin. So I'm going to grab him. I'm going to CQC him down to the ground. Grab my sniper rifle. Shoot him once in the back. Shoot him a bunch more in the back until he starts turning around. Turn around. Shoot him a couple more times. And then we go into phase 2. Going to take a roll. Wait for this attack. Shoot him a bunch of times until he recoils. Reload. Shoot him a bunch more times. And that is Volgin. That was absolutely spot on. Now we go into the bike chase scene, and this is the moment where my my non-lethal strat is going out of the window. It's much easier to deal with this fight using an RPG to take all of the guards out. There are some very big time losses if you try and... The way to do this non-lethally is to use a combination of the Mosing the Gun sniper rifle and stun grenades. But there are a few moments during this where you will take an awful lot of damage if you don't take out certain guards. Some guards in this section have RPGs, just like the one that I'm using now. And if you get hit by one of those, you're gonna die and you're gonna lose a lot of time. And in a marathon setting, it's not something I want to do. One of the other prerequisites for getting the Foxhound rank is also to complete a run with 0 continues. Now, if you've been here from the start, you will know that I am nowhere near 0 continues in this run. So at this moment, I think I got shot by my own RPG there. I should be okay. So yeah, for the purposes of a run where I'm not going to get Foxhound rank anyway, it's just not worth the time loss risk of trying to take out these guards non-lethally. The other thing that we're doing during the bike chase is slowly chipping away at the Shagohod. You'll see the Shagohod has taken some damage. The more damage I can do to it during the bike chase, the less health it will have when we actually do its boss fight later. There is a cap, but the cap's quite difficult to hit on European Extreme. It takes very, very little amounts of health. But to be honest, there's not much happening in the bike chase apart from just shooting some guards and going around. So now's a great time to talk about the charity.
Oh, I would absolutely be delighted to talk about the charity. We had the opportunity to talk with True Colors United back on Wednesday, and they talked to us about a number of their different policies and plans. What I would really like to highlight is that in a world where the struggle for housing justice, truly knows no borders, True Colors United is creating a world where all LGBTQ youth can live in safety. And this year they are planning to launch their first of its kind research project in partnership with Kenneth and Jacob's House, dedicated to identifying the needs of homeless LGBTQ plus youth in Africa. And we are so happy to be supporting an organization that is truly making a difference in the lives of so many people who really need it.
Done with this room.
Mm-hmm.
This room is mostly on rails. There was one section where I had to make sure I took out every guard. We are coming across one of those RPG guards in a second, so got to make sure I take out that guard. There we go. So I'm not going to get taken out by him. Just before we move into the next room, we're going to equip the Mark 22. We are going back to non-lethal methods now, just because it is easier in this room to do so. So we can't shoot the Shagahod just yet. There will be another opportunity. We've got these guys chasing me on the bikes, and what I'm trying to do here is only, I'm not doing a very good job of it, only take out the guys in the sidecars. If you take out the driver and the bike goes completely, they respawn. And that one's going to respawn, and that one took that one out, so that one's going to respawn. It's not too big of an issue anyway, but what you can do is just take out the 4 sidecar drivers and then just leave the drivers alone. They will try and shoot you, but they only have pistols. They're very lousy shots because they're also trying to drive at the same time. And we just let Snake's stamina give him his health back over time. There we go. That's it. And now we can just equip the nice camera and just watch Snake and Eva ride off towards the wig. These vehicles in the background, these flying vehicles in the background are called wigs. I can't remember what wig stands for. There's our wig. That's our wig. Yeah, we're going to get in the wig and we're going to fly away, and yeah, mission complete. Yeah. No.
Oh.
Not at all. Unfortunately, just as we get there, the Shagahod smashes into the wig and destroys it. So we're still going. We're going to equip the RPG here, and in this section now, this is the moment where I really need to lay into the Shagahod as much as I can. Using the quick reloads, which is completely intended. Normally if you take a shot, Snake will then very slowly play a reloading animation, but by quickly equipping and unequipping the weapon, it quick reloads. This is an intended mechanic. It appears in the instructions of the game, and is very, very helpful. And you'll see that I am very, very, very slowly chipping away at the Shagahod's health. I do have to hit it in a very specific spot. If I hit it in slightly different spot, it will move backwards like that. It will sort of get stunned slightly. I'm just going to keep on trying to hit it from there. We should be coming up to the end of this section. Got about a quarter of its health off, which isn't too bad. Eva loves her C3, so we've got some more. Going to take out that one, take out that one, there's 2 more, take out that one. Oh, come on. There we go. And you know what, let's be super swag. And this last one, I'm gonna blind shot it. We're not even gonna aim down the sight. And that's because Snake's aim is perfect in that position. That wasn't clever or anything, that was just very, very easy shot. And now we have the fight against the Shagahod. We're gonna try and get him into a loop. First shot is good. Immediately incapacitates him. We're going to get around the back, wait for Eva's wheels to squeak, take a shot, shoot the treads, and we're going to try and now keep him in this loop. 1, 2, 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, Eva has got other ideas. Whilst I can somewhat control what the Shaggerhod does with the damage I'm doing. Oh, luckily I've managed to regain the loop, and Eva's gone around the back. This is very good. 1, 2, 3.
Do that again.
1, 2, 3. Still got it. 1, 2, 3. Wait for it. 1, 2, 3. Oh. We already got one more hit. And that is phase 1 of the Shaggerhod. Luckily, phase 2 is much quicker and simple. We shoot the tread. We shoot Volgin in the head. We shoot the tread. We shoot Volgin in the head. We shoot the tread. We shoot Volgin in the head. And just for one last go, we shoot the tread and we shoot Volgin in the head. And that is the Shaggerhod fights. Ooh. For our efforts, we're treated to Bike Chase Round 2. What do you got for me, Caro?
Well, now that the I guess like the main penultimate dramatic boss fight has been dealt with, we have indeed a second round of Bike Chase to actually get done. One thing you may have heard earlier during the initial Bike Chase is Nick ended up hitting a certain amphibian creature known as a Keratin frog. There are 64 of those. To be found across any difficulty in this game, and you get the Keratin rank if you hit on 64. There are a few extremely difficult ones that come up in this stage of the game, including one which is known in Nick's community for a fairly good reason as Hellfrog. It is right at the end of this room. When you're doing a Keratin run, you have to hit that frog, and you have maybe like 3 seconds in which to do so at the end of the room. If you miss it, you're maybe like an hour or whatever into the run. If you miss it, or any of the frogs around this area, your run's dead and you have to start over. It's unforgiving, and we're gonna hit it for just kicks and giggles here, I think.
There he is.
We got it. We got it.
We got Hellfrog.
Yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta do it for the meme.
During the Bike Chase, because we don't return to any of these rooms, if you miss any of the frogs, you have to immediately take a death. The only way of taking a death during this section is to just shoot the RPG on the floor as quickly as possible to deplete Snake's health. And as you saw, that frog was right at the end of the room. It's not too bad on European Extreme because we have very little health to begin with. Oh, that's nice, I took that guy out. So it's not too difficult, but on very easy, when your health bar is the same length as your stamina bar, you have no time at all to take a death if you miss that frog. And I have had several world record runs die on me because I missed that frog in the early times of me learning the all Keratins route. Whilst I'm not the best Metal Gear Solid 3 speedrunner out there, there are several runners who can do Foxhound runs relatively regularly. I am the world record holder for all Keratin frogs, both on very easy and European Extreme, and I love that run. It's really fun. Eva here advises to shoot a log, and that is very, very good advice. Do not on European Extreme let that log hit you.
Whoops.
Because otherwise you take a heck. I should have just got the RPG out and shot it. We should be okay. I'm on decent health here. The next room I shouldn't be taking much damage. Yeah, don't let that frog. Don't let that log hit you. So we're just back to the bikes now. The bikes are nice and easy to take out, so I'm not worried about my health. I will slowly get health back over time because I'm at full stamina. We are now getting close to the end of the run. This is the should probably keep an eye out on keep an eye out for the bikes. There we go. We are in the final bike chase room. After this room, there's a couple of rooms of escorting Eva, and then we've got the final boss. Oh, excuse me. And then a final little showdown with Ocelot.
You good?
Keep taking these guys out. Again, using the quick reload function. That's how slow Snake would normally shoot, but with the quick reload we can shoot a lot quicker, which is really helpful for taking out these bikes before they can kill me. It's always fun in this section if you can take out any of the bikes and have that bike crashing take out another bike. But that's it. We're through the bike section. Even with the log, not a problem. Oh, please excuse me. It wasn't bad either, but Eva, you might want to pay attention to the road. Unfortunately, during the cutscene here, Snake and Eva get into a bit of an accident. Eva gets pierced by a very sharp branch. We're going to give her some food. Now we're going to play Trauma Center on Eva.
Have some more.
So we now get the opportunity to cure Eva. So she's got a couple of cuts that we need to get rid of. In the codec call before you do that, you are very strictly advised by your team that you should tend to Snake's wounds first. You are more important. But the game progresses as soon as you've patched up Eva. You don't have to touch Snake at all. We shouldn't be taking any damage at this point. Now we're into the escort section. And anyone who stuck around since Caro's MGS2 run, you may remember that he had an escort section to do as well, where he escorted Emma Emmerich through the plant. And a lot of people grumble about that section, that it's slow and it's a bit boring and it's not great. It's much better than this one because at least in that one you have complete control over Emma. You are grabbing her hand, you are pulling her. Eva has a bit of a mind of her own at times. We have to be very careful about how far away I get from her whilst escorting, because she can go in some very odd routes if we're too far away. Such as there's a log coming up that I'm going to go around the north of, and even from this position, she could just decide to go to the south if I'm too far away. It's coming up. This log here. Where is she? So I'm going to be careful here because she could just decide. We're going just here to the right, but if Eva wanted to, she could just go all the way around the bottom of that log. Second half of this area, we do have some guards to take care of now. So we're going to take care of this guard first. Quick headshot for him. Start moving forwards. Beckon Eva to follow. Peek out, headshot on that guy. Got a guy there. We're going to take him out. I've used up my silencer. Luckily, I've got one more. We're going to take these guys out. That guy first. That guy's going to look. Thankfully, because there's a tree here, he can't actually see me. That tree, he doesn't see through the gap. The tree completely obstructs his view. And here is a little keratin frog for you all. This is the frogs that Kara was talking about. That one's called the Freeg. We call that one the Freeg in my community because we've got to wait for Eva anyway, so it takes no time at all to shoot. There's no time loss for stopping to shoot that frog because we've got to wait for Eva to catch up with us anyway. Some guards to take care of in this room. We're going to distract the first one, kicking that plant. That guard hears that plant get kicked, and he's now going to walk all the way around to just try and find out what made that noise. A couple of guards here to take out. Take those out. Eva's here. That's good timing. Eva drop down. There is in some versions of the game, there can be a glitch where Eva can't see Snake drop down and she walks back to the start. That's a massive time loss. It's never happened to me, thankfully. It can do. There's one more guard there, but he's so focused on being invisible or trying to be invisible, that he doesn't bother us. And now we're going to go into the final boss of the game. This is the boss. And I'm going to concentrate on this fight again, so I'm going to let Caro take over the comms for just a moment.
All right. So this is the boss, the final boss. We fought the end earlier, but that boss wasn't the final boss. This is the final boss, or the boss, and the actual strategy doesn't really vary all that much across difficulty levels, from what I can tell. We face off against her, disarm her with CQC, and try to get as many shots in on our most gun as possible. You see Nick resorting to CQC there. Cooking and throwing stun grenades, of course, disorientates her for a little bit, so we are able to continue firing off shots, and unfortunately sometimes
probably for the best.
Yeah,
my positioning there was really bad.
Yeah, the setup there was a little bit off. We took too much damage too soon, so we're gonna run that back.
This is already way better. So we're going to keep her in this loop.
Yes, as Nick said, this fight also relies fairly heavily on a loop. 2 mostly gun shots, throw her down, cook and throw a stun grenade, and you do that twice, and it brings her down to effectively half of her stamina bar, and a few more shots will be the fight. Need to disarm her first. Go to do non-lethal damage.
She's still not quite gone. Just didn't quite get that slam.
One more shot. Oh.
You're not the man I thought.
Yeah, I need it. What was that?
What was that?
That is you can file that one under that has never happened before. I've got her. And slam. Apart from that very final bit, that was a really good final boss. We do now have an unskippable cutscene here, but it is not time just yet. We play out this cutscene. The game gives us a very heart-wrenching moment where the boss is now going to ask Snake to kill her, and we have to take the shot. And then there is one final little showdown with Ocelot, and time will be when I fire my gun during the Ocelot showdown. It'll make more sense when you see it.
Patriot.
As this is unskippable, it does take a minute. I'll use the opportunity now to thank Power Up with Pride for having me on, not just for this run. I also ran Mini Ghost yesterday, so really great opportunity to show both of these games off, and to be on the commentary couch for Caro as well. So thank you, Caro, for letting me jump into MGS2 as well. I hope you've all enjoyed this run. I hope you're all enjoying the marathon. Obviously, keep those donations coming in, and yeah. I've been NickRPGreen. You can find me at twitch.tv/NickRPGreen, or any other, Twitter, YouTube. Just type in NickRPGreen, you'll find it. We now have to pull the trigger, and the boss is dead. And we go into our final little showdown with Ocelot. We pick the left gun because the left gun has got a bullet in it. We're playing Russian roulette with him, and it will be time in 3, 2, time. I missed the one.
GG.
And that is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater European Extreme. I'm also going to mute the audio here as the credits start playing, just because these credits will get you a copyright hit, so we don't want that for Power Up with Pride. Yeah, I've already done my outro, so thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Caro?
Yes, thank you so much to Nick for having me on. I was delighted to hop in on commentary for this. Hope you've enjoyed the little mini Metal Gear block here at Power Up with Pride. As a reminder, we are continuing to fundraise for True Colours United. We still have a few runs on the docket, so I'm going to pass it back over to our host. Thank you all so much again for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
Well, thank you again to both Nick and Caro for those wonderful Metal Gear Solid runs. Absolutely amazing. We will be taking a very short break as we set up for our Shadow of the Colossus race. And this is actually my final time here on the mic. I'm going to be passing it along in just a moment to the wonderful Beam Queen Soul. But thank you all, chat. Thank you to all of our donors, our volunteers, the staff and the team. Everyone has been really, really fantastic these last few days, and it's been absolutely wonderful as always to be a part of this event. We will be, but we're not done just yet. We have a few more runs to go, and we have a bit more ways to go to see if we can hit that $10,000 milestone and bring in a lot of much needed funding for True Colors United and their extremely important mission. But y'all can just stay tuned, chill for that, and we'll be back very soon.